Disney has left in a clip that has gotten people talking. At least that's what they're talking about. We also have people saying that they have been getting a takedown over their posts, and then some people saying videos being deleted and what's going on with that. So this is Dave Desai. Let's get into it. A video getting taken down by one of the BTS members, or even if it's taken down by any celebrity, is quite interesting because they don't typically take down something unless there's a lot of backlash over it. And sometimes the backlash, especially if it doesn't make any sense, they will take it down. The other reason is if the post just isn't the best and they want to repost it. However, if that were the case, we would have seen a repost. Currently, it is not reposted. So what's going on? What happened? So if you're not aware, yesterday we had a story about Jungkook getting a DUI charge. If you're interested in hearing more about that, definitely check out the video before this one. We get into the charge, what was about, what actually happened, and what could happen going forward. And there's a lot of information that I felt like a lot of people got wrong on the internet, which was clarified in that video. There should also be an annotation at the end of this video, I believe, so you can just kind of click to that yesterday's video after watching this video. But anyway, it was a big deal. People were very upset about this. And then at the same time, RM actually posted something on his story that was completely unrelated to this situation. And people were really upset that it wasn't related. So RM posted an achievement that he had, and he had ranked number 7 on the top Genius achievements. So I think Genius in this specific case is the site or the company that often has singers read each lyric and then talk about it. So RM ranking 7th is definitely a huge deal, and I don't even think he was on the show yet. So I hope he gets to do that when he comes back. But when he posted this, he was really flattered. He just wanted to post this to kind of thank the community because obviously it's the community that got him to 7th. But a lot of people were trying to get him to answer for what Jungkook did, saying it was insensitive or it was attempting to celebrate while one of his friends or members is getting into a lot of trouble. However, this is something that he posts pretty regularly, and he always posts about his achievements and thanks the community for their hard work in streaming it. A lot of people were saying that RM likely just didn't know what was going on between any of the other members, as in he is in the military and he might be slow to the news. However, my personal opinion is that obviously he knew, and that's not a bad thing. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to say anything definitively, but I think in my opinion, obviously he knew. There was no question about that in my opinion. But I think just because you know, it doesn't mean your posts have to be about the situation. It doesn't mean that you can't go online and pretend nothing is wrong, because what do people expect him to do? For him to apologize for another person's actions? He's not going to. It's not his place. It's also quite messed up. He shouldn't be doing that. But that doesn't mean he's not having those conversations behind closed doors. And those conversations don't need to be public. So there are people who say that he doesn't know, and I think that that's a fine argument to go with if you want to go with that argument, but I think it makes the argument a little bit weaker. Because it's hard to argue that someone doesn't know what's going on with someone who they would consider close, someone who is like family to them. I think he does know what's going on. It's just none of our business to know what's going on behind the scenes. It really isn't. Someone doing a DUI charge, someone who is getting a lot of backlash right now, someone who's dealing with their own personal things, it does not need to be a public affair. It shouldn't have ever been a public affair. It being plastered all over the news that Jungkook got this charge is quite insane to me already. If any of us were to do a thing that is considered bad, whether that is a DUI, whether that is something much worse or whatever it is an affair that can be dealt with privately. It's an affair that we can have with our family and with our close friends, and that's it. And that's how it should be for everybody. Also, no one has to post about anything that you want them to post about. If they're going to post about something, it can be about whatever they want. Every time I see people complain to another person saying that when a big event happens, and if they're not posting it on their Instagram story or whatever, that they don't care about it, or that their love for this person in this situation is fake because they're not posting about it on Instagram. You can love silently, full stop. And I personally do love the boys so much. I'm definitely not silent about it, but I would be accused of not loving them, so I talk about them. And if you're interested in checking out more love that I'd like to give the boys as well as other groups, then make sure you check out the Patreon. There are a ton, and I mean thousands of reaction videos that are available for you to watch. It's just going to be $1.95 if you sign up. There are limited spots, so if you're interested, then please make sure you check that out. It is linked at the top of the description. I mean, there's just so much that's happening right now, and it's kind of crazy to really even think about all of the weirdness that's happening. Some people were talking about how Bang PD was recently seen somewhere, and these photos allegedly had been taken down. Now, I don't want to post the photos here because I don't want to do anything that he would not want, right? And that would not be great for this channel. So there is this show called The Influencer on Netflix, and one of the contestants, or maybe even the winner, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but was seen with Bang alongside another girl who I'm not quite sure who that is. This alleged photo, which will not be hard to find, was spread all over Korean social media and made its rounds through American social media as well. And I'm not exactly sure what the debate around this is. A lot of these pictures were eventually taken down, so I don't know what the posts were about, and if they were about things like the influencer joining the label or whatever it was. I have no idea what the accusations were. But apparently anyone who talked about the situation and then also posted the picture was getting a takedown notice from the social media platform saying that this was an invasion of privacy. And I think that this irked a lot of people more than it just being a takedown or even it just happening. And I think this made it even a bigger story than what it eventually ended up being, which is probably wasn't even much of a story anyway. If this influencer was going to join the label, it's kind of cool to even hear that the label might have an influencer division or is allegedly planning to start one. However, the takedown notice made people really upset at Bang, saying that he has leaked texts allegedly that he clearly doesn't care about privacy from other people, so why should people care about his privacy? All of these situations are alleged, and none of it has been fully proven, and bottom line is, even if, and big if, someone does leak someone else's privacy, that doesn't mean it's okay to leak their privacy. This is an eye for eye type of world right now. It's whatever is right and whatever is wrong. Just because someone does something allegedly wrong doesn't mean you do something wrong back to them. As the days creep closer, we are getting closer and closer to Jimin and JK's Are You Sure travel show, and people are very excited for this show to come out. There's already been a lot of snippets coming out. Each snippet does pretty well on social media, and I think Disney is gearing up to release it, as well as them being very excited to release it. It's been a lot of clips posted, and a lot of it has garnered more and more speculation on what the relationship between the two members are. For example, there is this one photo in which the two are watching a show together or watching something together, and JK has his arms kind of behind Jimin. It's not fully around Jimin, but it is behind him. This has led to a lot of debate because a lot of people, when they're with their friends, they might not even sit this close to each other. The couch is huge, so why sit right next to each other? And also, why is JK's arms like fully out? As for the distance, I can't really say. Maybe they just want to be close to each other so that they can talk and communicate easier. And then I've had literal straight friends put their arm like on my backrest chair without literally wanting to date me or having a girlfriend, but just doing that because they want to spread their arms out. So it's not something that I would consider a romantic thing, more just like this is just what men do. Other people like to hyperanalyze moments like this and go frame by frame. There is this screenshot floating around, and people had looked into reflections and those sorts of things, which is not surprising within the K-pop community, but has then resulted now into some rumors circulating. Some people were speculating about kissing and romantic moments, as they believe right on the window there is a reflection of what seems to be a bed. So they are assuming that, oh, if we can see a bed, it's like a big bed, so it must mean that they're sleeping together and doing romantic things. But there are several things wrong with this. First of all, we see one bed. Doesn't mean that there is only one bed. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, they have slept together in the same bed before, and they have even cuddled, but it doesn't mean that they're romantically involved. I feel like all the members have cuddled or hugged each other at one point. Second of all, and probably the most important thing I want to say, it's clear that they're in their living room, so it makes sense that the room over, or the reflection that we are seeing, is likely the dining room. So that is probably a table, not a bed. I also highly doubt that they would be staying in a place that didn't have the sleeping and lounging areas separate and separated by floors, because we have seen shows like In the Soup or Bon Voyage, and they do stay in a place and there's always that separation. So I'm sure that that's what they're used to, and that's probably what they would want. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.